Annyeonghaseyo, this is meowmurai. Let's continue our game of ExoCross running on PC. Darn it. It would not come back under control. Okay, well, this round is a wash. My goodness. I cannot catch a break. Oh, I lost my wheel. Batman laid an egg. Keep losing my damn wheels. God. They all seem to be careening off the cliff with it. No, I don't want to go with you. I forgot how hard the game was. That's a hard game. It's really fun once you get it down, but yeah, well, taking a break from this has made me super rusty on how to play it. Like the movement's very, very subtle at the beginning. A little on the end marks that goes a long way. You don't necessarily want to even jump in the game. You might end up landing in the wrong kind of way. Pretty easily, too. Looped into my wheel over the point, really screwed me. Don't jump. Jumping is so dangerous in this game. Since it's simulating the four wheels separately. That means anytime you just land not flat, it's a danger. Oh my god. Oh, even just a little tap from that guy just sent me way off course. so hard. I know, you thought Redout 2 was like the hardest racing game. This is right up there. Out of my way. Well, I'm stuck there for a minute. Oh, okay. Wow. Instant death. where am I gonna end up? So tough. And I thought I had one more lap for some reason. I have a hard time counting to 3, apparently. I even took off my pants. Oh my god. So tough. Yeah, the low gravity certainly doesn't help, but you know, we are racing on another planet. So the story goes, right? Stuck in a rat race now. That made me spin around like Kylie Minogue. Oh, there's a lip. There's a lip on that thing. God, this game. It's like 20 or 30 minutes before you can finally get a good racing. Otherwise, you know, like so much random stuff happens to you. You know, because the gravity's so low and the physics are, you know, they can definitely work against you. But not in like a badly programmed way. It's just tough to kind of get a handle on the way the game wants you to drive. All the competition's like so good at blocking you too. Oh my God. Yeah. I really enjoy it. I mean, it's good, but it's really hard. know, in general, I like off-road games. Oh, man, this guy. I mean, the good thing is you see everybody else screw up too, so it's not like you're the only one that gets into bad situations. It's kind of like WRC to the extreme. Ah, this guy's really pushing me. Ugh. Out. Yeah, they do kind of have like giant RC cars. Which is, you know, I mean, essentially is what they are. But, you know, I gotta juggle so many games at once. I keep doing this to myself. Every year it gets worse. You buy more games and never have time to play them. Even all the really good ones. Look at this guy. Yeah, the game war's going on right now, so phone's blowing up. But I just can't stand to sit through a 4-hour show where the only thing to look forward to is the commercials. Oh, I'm sorry, game trailers. It's like, who would have thought that gamers would be like so into just watching commercials? Like, that's the thing that excites us. Oh my god, did you see that? That trailer for that thing that's coming out in like a year or two? Yeah, I'm just sitting here waiting for that. Meanwhile, my backlog of 70 games is waiting for me. I feel like Jeff Keighley is one of those people where you're like, you know, you're like at the school and you're just kind of forced to play with the rich kid, you know? I was like, I don't want to play with the rich kid. Oh, come on now. I want to play with my friends. Now, treat everybody equally. It's so annoying though. Oh, again? Well, the same corner is dangerous. A weird obsession with Kojima too. I'm like, yeah, Kojima kind of got a raw deal from Konami, but he was also burning tons of money from that company. And then releasing, you know, not bad products, but just okay products. Products that just couldn't possibly make their money. I mean, I look at Death Stranding, which I had fun with. I really did. But, like, as far as a game goes, it's not really much of a game. I mean, you walk from one place to another, you know, place ladders and ropes around different mountainsides and hilltops. You know, dump, you know, resources that take, you know, hours and hours and hours to to build like one section of a freeway. And then he made a sequel. I was like, oh, okay, well, you know, if I was Konami, I could see why I may be not happy with that concept. You know, to burn hundreds of millions of dollars on walking from one place to another. I got it, you know. I can see them maybe, you know, not having a good relationship because of that. Even though I like the guy, you know, he's an auteur. But as far as like a good game maker, yeah, it's pretty questionable at this point. Oh, this game. It's so hard. Every little thing can just send you careening off course. I may play this entire hour and not finish this course in a sort of reasonable placement. Okay, how am I going to predict all this? Oh, well, thankfully I have some friends that are watching Game Awards and they can just summarize for me, like how I'm watching that whole thing. It's like attending the longest wedding of your life. You know, it's a Catholic wedding where you're having to get up and sit down all the time. Although a lot of Asian weddings are like that too. Maybe a little worse because, you know, you're sitting cross-legged or you're sitting on your legs for a good majority of the time. I've had my legs fall asleep several times during a Cambodian wedding. I was like, oh man, this is definitely made up by people who had a lot of free time. About the only good thing about those long Cambodian weddings is the food is usually really good. So you have to suffer a lot for some good food, though. That's where, you know, maybe it's just better just to order out. Seems like a high price to pay, you know, for some good egg rolls. Or some good rice wraps. And I don't know what it is about weddings, but it's always filled with people that are way older than you. I mean, you could be like 50 or 60, and somehow a wedding will be filled with everybody that's like over 100. It's like, where do these people come from? It's like, how come I'm old and I'm surrounded by even older people than me? What is going on here? And then as an old person, all you really do is get together with people you haven't seen for a long time. You know, they're going to surprise you with how old the kids are, how much they've grown up, and then it's like, hey, what new injuries do you have? What are the results of your blood test? Just everything revolving around death. at a wedding. Because that's all we have to look forward to. The older you get, that's like, well, how exactly am I gonna die? I'm gonna die like my 4 uncles, or am I gonna die like that distant cousin that I heard about? Oh my god, this computer is so annoying. It is so good at blocking you from passing. You can only go so fast. Like, if you go too fast in this game, you will inevitably run into a bump or a hill or some kind of flaw in the road, which will just send you tumbling over, end over end. Only to lose a wheel at the at the last minute. It's like, I don't know why I just didn't respawn. 4th. Oh my god. Slept on both arms, huh? Oh my god. I mean, the good thing is that, since you're, since you spend a lot of your time, kind of with your eyes closed, praying, then really it doesn't, you can cover for all the time that you're asleep, too. And then, I don't memorize all of the songs. There's no way in the world I'm going to remember all the songs that they sing at a wedding. He's going to hum along. Hopefully you don't screw it up too much for the guys that actually know what they're doing. And, in a Cambodian wedding, it's supposed to be like kind of an all-day event. Like you would start. Well, I mean, you send like an invite at like 8 in the morning, right? And in the old country, people would like leave their house and start walking, towards the wedding, and then you wouldn't actually start the wedding at until like noon or maybe 1, right? Because it takes a while for people to get from place to place. So invitations are at 8, and then you actually get to the place at I don't know, like I said, a little, maybe noon or maybe past 1 or something like that. Unless you're part of the wife's family or the wife's family. And if you are part of the wife's family, then you're working, right? I mean, you're setting up chairs, you're putting up decorations, you're arranging all, you're helping cooking, you're just doing all this work for maybe some people that you may never see again. Now you're testing all the equipment because there's inevitably going to be some singing happening at some point in time, either from the priest or from the choir or just the people who just know what they're doing. So, and sometimes for fun afterwards. But it's like you have to spend all day. I mean, and this is not even the bride and groom; they have an even worse time with it. But you spend all day, all afternoon, and a good majority of the night, with this wedding. And like just as a participant, you know, you've hopefully bought a good gift, something rather expensive. You know, given enough good cash so that you're not completely ashamed of yourself. And then your reward is to, you know, have some pretty good food, but also to have both your knees numb, maybe your elbows ache, be incredibly bored for an enormously long amount of time. Is that I hear Catholics complain about their traditional weddings. I'm like, oh boy, you guys have no idea. A Catholic wedding is like a quickie. That's why I'm all for Vegas weddings. Just invite mom and dad and the parents of the bride, and that's it. You save yourself so much time. I think across the cultures that's pretty much the same too. Like most Asian weddings are like long, arduous processes. I don't know. I'll have to look up the process for a traditional Korean wedding and see how much that differs. I don't know how many people even do that anymore. The more developed your nation is, the less time you have, right? So you're less likely to have people who are like raring to go on a 12-hour wedding. I mean, I did the quick version of my wedding when I had it many years ago, and that was still 6 hours. The quick version. Where you have like a smaller subset, you know, not every single cousin, not every single person that was happened to be born in the country or in the vicinity of the country gets invited. And even then, it's funny to think about how many people show up to a wedding, an Asian wedding. It's like, I don't even recognize half the people. It's like, oh yeah, I saw you last time when you were like 2. I'm like, really? Well, sorry if I don't remember you. That might have been a little while ago. It's like, why haven't we seen each other since I was 2? What's the deal there? Some sort of bad blood in the family? I don't know. And like, I've got to kind of like figure out how to be nice. I mean, if somebody's older than you, that's easy. You just show respect. You remain relatively quiet and let them talk. If it's somebody your own age or younger, it's a little harder to gauge exactly. Oh, you son of a bitch. Oh, my God. A little hard to gauge how to act. Well, at least I've learned to sit Indian style pretty well. But the folks that actually like sit on their, they have like their legs tucked under their thighs, so where they're just like sitting directly on their feet, with their lower leg and the upper leg stacked on top of each other. I don't even know how you do that. After about 10 minutes of that, I was done. I'm like, okay, yeah. Sitting on the floor, maybe one of those traditions where I think we could probably do away with that. Of course, furniture is expensive in the home country, and not everybody would be able to afford it. But damn it, not in this country. In this country, furniture is cheap. Well, I mean, at least something basic for a wedding. This computer is too good. Look at it. It is just in my way every single time. I just cannot get around it. Not safely, at least. If I ram into it, I always pay the price. This is one of those games where you're happy to be 10th. You know, I just want to get to the end of the track. I don't even care if I win. I just want to see the end. Whereas, you know, you play Mario Kart, you absolutely have to get first. You get hit by a blue shell later, but still. Oh, you son of a... Get away from me. I can't even blame like bad control on this game. The game controls perfectly, you know, for what it is. Can't blame the frame rate. That's rock solid. The graphics look pretty good. All things considering, considering how old the game is. Although they've been doing a lot of updates recently, so it's a little deceptive about how old the game is. Since they keep improving it, adding more tracks, you know, tweaking the AI and stuff like that. So it's not really an old game. Like the last major patch, which added like a whole nother area. I think that was only earlier in the year, or in the summer, I think, for the PC version. Because they released the console version around the same time. I want to say. Oh my god, get away from me. Send me out. Oh my god. Fifth. Yeah, I'll warn you. I mean, this game is hard. It's not an easy game. Yeah, it'll go on sale though. I mean, you know, the good thing about these kind of lower key games is that they always go on sale. And then by the time you're ready to buy it, it has like all of the DLC included. You know, so you don't have to go through that period of when it was kind of a bare bones game. Oh, son of a bitch. Oh my god, this game is ruthless. You stopped watching the Game Awards? You had about enough of Jeff Keister. Oh, you bitch. Oh my god. Actually, I said the good thing is that they just released the console version of this, so you don't need to necessarily play it on PC. Yeah, it is kind of a MotorStorm feel. But Sony really tried hard on MotorStorm. They released so many of those games, and they just, you know, they just were not big sellers. But they just kept trying and trying and trying. Now you're lucky to get a Sony game, you know, once every 3 years. When Sony was really trying hard, I mean, they released like, you know, 20 games a year. Now they release a game every 3 or 4 years, maybe 5. And it's mostly a bunch of talking and QuickTime QuickTime events. Always got to be some cinematic experience. Heaven forbid they, you know, think about some gameplay every once in a while. Astro was like their last like regular video game. Oh, get out of here. Oh, yeah, I still didn't win that exchange. I just want to pass. Oh, God. Oh, 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 oh. I do like how all the tires like individually just spin everywhere. Like the physics are quite detailed. Yeah, it seems like Sony's such a directionless company at this point in time. Even though they're super successful in the games market, yeah, they just don't like have a good vision. They have a couple studios that make some stuff that are high quality visuals. You know, some pretty good gameplay. Sometimes maybe not the best, but usually something that's still okay. You still have fun playing it. You know, like there's nothing inherently wrong with Spider-Man. It does everything that it's supposed to do. And it is fun if you kind of let yourself, get into that world and enjoy the sights and sounds. But at the same time, it is kind of like something that I've just done all the time. As a game that is no different than any other game. It's just that it's really well done at doing what it's doing. Last of Us is just one of those really bizarre series. Like, I don't really understand how it becomes popular. Unless you're a teenager, of course. You're a teenager, that stuff will blow your mind, I guess. Having something that's fairly gritty kind of meant for an older audience. And, you know, maybe if I hadn't read every zombie book that ever came out in the 70s and 80s, that, you know, maybe I'd be totally floored by that game's story. Unfortunately, that's not true for me. I look at Last of Us and Last of Us 2, I'm just like, eh. You know, Last of Us 1 being nowhere near as good as The Road. The book, not the movie. And then Last of Us 2 just being like a giant FU to the audience. Absolutely no consideration for how the audience feels, or any sort of awareness about what makes a good story and good characters. Just out for shock value. As I look at the arcs and the story of those characters, I'm just like, what? Who thought this was a good idea? And inevitably the gameplay is just about you not seeing a clicker, you know, for the 1400th time. Getting insta-death every, you know, over and over again. It's like, I'd rather play Hitman. What am I doing playing this garbage? Yeah. But having critics be like weirdly attached to the game and the developer. Like, wow, this is like super fanboyish. I can't even say they like make a good product, and you know, somehow there's like a lot of critical love for him. It's like watching an old Woody Allen movie, you know. I was like, well, that was okay. I don't know about calling the guy a genius. Actually, I think the worst thing about a Woody Allen movie is that the comedy doesn't, it's not forever, right? Like, you could watch, Airplane, kind of show it to somebody that's in their, you know, their teens or their early 20s, and I think they would still laugh at a lot of those jokes. Like, a lot of the humor still seems really, really clever. But then you show somebody a Woody Allen film, and you're like, huh. Well, I'm sure this was funny at the time. Second, oh my god. And I've tried, believe me. I was like, you know, I gotta be open-minded about some of these old movies, you know. Like, you watch some Akira Kurosawa, and you kind of understand, okay, well, movie's a little slow, but, like, I totally get why he's a genius. You know, and I can generally be entertained. You know, you watch, like, an old dumpy comedy from the 80s, you know, like a Police Academy, or you watch, like, Cocoon. You know, not that it's a dumpy comedy, but you know, again, you know what I mean. It's like, oh, well, you know what? I get why this is popular. Like, I totally understand it. But then you watch Woody Allen, and it's like, oh, okay, so you're an unconfident whiner who sort of quips about society. And that's every movie. Every movie. Every movie you're in your movies playing Woody Allen and nothing else. It's like, what? How did you become famous? The super weird thing is, like Woody Allen's filming habits is that he films like half the movie. And then he does like test screenings, and then they take a break. Right? They don't just film contiguously. Like, he doesn't write a whole story, you know, in one go. Takes a break. He does some screenings and figures out where the audience is, and then they film the rest of the movie. kind of lets you know that yeah, in real life he is that kind of like whiny, sniffly guy who's not super duper confident and like needs feedback. So then that's why like sometimes like the first half of his movies is better than the second half of his movies, or vice versa, because they always start off as incomplete works. Whereas no, you get like a Hitchcock or Kurosawa who like meticulously plan everything. You know, even Spielberg is super well known for that. And somehow, you know, they're not the critical favorites. Even though, you know, maybe a lot more work goes into making you know, Close Encounters of the Third Kind versus what was it, Annie something? I can't remember the last one I watched of Woody Allen. It was something really dumb. It's one of those movies where you watch them and you just have like a big frown on your face. You know, you're kind of wondering why you're there. I can say this right. Am I going to get like the Woody Allen fans coming, you know, come at me in my comments? You don't recognize genius, dude. I'm like, no. I had no problem recognizing genius. But I do recognize bullshit when I see it. Oh my god, I'm actually doing well. I can't even believe this. Takes about an hour to finally kind of dial in the control in the game. Once you get it, man, it's actually pretty satisfying to play the game and do all the correct drifting. You know, feel like you've kind of mastered the control a little bit. I know, maybe I'm a Steve Guttenberg fan. I don't know. Oh, you know, Close Encounters is a boring movie. I think I've said it to my friends before, where like I can never make it to the end of that movie without falling asleep. It's super boring, you know. I mean, you basically have to just not watch the first hour of that movie in order to ever get to the end of it. Sort of like watching 2001 Space Odyssey, right? I mean, by the time you get to the end of that movie, I mean, you're either completely asleep or completely confused. You know, neither of which is probably great for a movie. The Explorers, you know, I'll be honest with you, I don't recall ever watching that movie. That might have been one that I didn't get. You know, in E.T. I just like remember a little bit. It's probably one of those movies I should go watch again, because I just barely remember that movie. I was like super young when that came out. You know, unfortunately, I watched more Alf than E.T. So you know I had a terrible childhood. Like, parents should not make their, you know, should not have their kids to be exposed to Alf. It's like the crappy version of Garfield, and Garfield was crappy. Oh, ouch. I just remember like the sister character being super hot in Alf. That's my memory of Alf for the most part. It's like, damn, that sister is hot. What the hell? I don't recall Alf because I think they released like a DVD set, or a Blu-ray set of the show. I just kept thinking to myself, I mean, who's gonna buy this? Who's gonna want to sit through all these episodes of Alf? But yeah, you never know, huh? I sat through an entire season of classic Star Trek, you know, Jurassic Trek, just that first season. Like, I could probably put any of those seasons in and be completely happy with watching it, or any of the episodes. But then if you ask me, you know, to watch an entire season of like Voyager or The Next Generation, I'm like, you know, let me pick a couple of my favorites. I don't know if I want a whole season. It's a little much. It'd be like owning it's like everything that destroyed my youth, right? Box sets of like Different Strokes and Alf. You know, the Jeffersons. WKRP. Not MASH. Too young for MASH. Welcome back, Cotter. It's like, what was I watching when I was young? Man. I suppose it's better than like the Survivor generation, right? Watching episodes of Survivor, Real Housewives, Jersey Shore. I mean, compared to that, I guess I made out pretty good. I remember having a roommate that loved watching The Hills. And I was like, how can you even watch this show? These guys are morons. Like, the sound of the voices even are kind of annoying. Yeah. But hey, you know, she's totally into it. I don't know, I guess she saw herself in one of those characters. Oh my god, I totally blew this race. Look at that. Last lap. Take that, tires. Silver Spoons. Silver Spoons was good because of Aaron Gray, who was also in Buck Rogers. To be honest with you, I don't remember anything outside of Aaron Gray from Silver Spoons. I remember she like in one of the Jason movies, one of the Friday the 13th. You know, obviously, you know, a little older. And going, boy, she aged pretty good. Too bad she's in this weird horror movie. Yeah, Buck Rogers is another one of those where I'm just like, was that a good show? All of my favorite episodes are when Erin Gray was in her like one piece skin tight suit. And, you know, maybe Tweety going beady beady beady. Really, that's my recollection of the movie, or the series as a whole. My priorities, you know, as a kid. Son of a bitch. Wow, holy moly. I think I've seen like clips of Silver Spoons recently where like that main character is actually kind of a dick. I was like, did I used to like this show? That kid is not a good person. He didn't grow up to be a good adult either. Ugh. Ah. Into the containers. Fresh Prince, yeah. I know. It's hard to believe we got Will Smith out of Fresh Prince. You know, the show is some people say that they grew up with, which I didn't really understand, was Saved by the Bell. And I'm just like, I think I was too old for Saved by the Bell. Like, I remember Saved by the Bell being like super duper cringe. Like, you had to be pretty young to be into Saved by the Bell. Or I had another roommate who was into, and she was older. Okay, so I mean, she was in her her mid-20s, and she watched like Wizards of Waverly Place, you know, on the Disney Channel. And they're like, what are you doing watching this? This is not for you. You're way too old for these jokes. But you know, hey, yeah, everybody likes a little something different. I grew up watching Chinese movies my whole life. Not even Chinese. I just love the movie. I just love the movies there. Yeah, I love people flipping in the air and floating around, shooting lasers from their palms. I love that whenever somebody jumped in one of those movies, it just sounded like somebody like, you know, waving a piece of cloth in the air. And be like, those were good times. Oh my god, I think I give up. Yeah, I think it's hard not to like the kung fu movie era from like the 70s and 80s. Really, I like them from the 90s as well. They're like so honest, you know. Yeah, it's hard to believe Jackie Chan's still making movies. He just released that A Legendary. I was like, really? You're still making the Project A series of movies? It even has like the original director from all the other movies. I'm like, huh, that is craziness. But yeah, the old Shaw vision. I have that burned in my eardrums. Just the the really high sounding horns at the beginning of every Shaw Brothers movie. It's like, ugh, it's painful. And most Chinese movies were in mono, so it just sounds like extra nails on chalkboard sounding. And then whenever you watch a movie at home, if they, at least for the Chinese movies, if they didn't want to deal with the letterboxing, they would just stretch the image vertically so everybody looked like extra tall. It's like no concept of preserving aspect ratio back in those days. Why does everybody look so weird? Like everybody looks like a character from Dragon Ball Z. It's like spiky hair and super thin. So, well, that was the original Dragon Ball Z kid. We didn't know any better. We just knew that we had a square TV and a rectangle image. That was the best we could do. This game has me on edge when I do well. It's like, okay, I'm not going to screw this thing up. Right about here. And one of the cars will come careening into me and knocking my wheel off. Costing me 10 seconds. It's like, oh, don't think about it. You'll be fine if you don't think about it. Oh, son of a gun. No! Move! Oh, I lost my wheel. Robin laid an egg. Batmobile lost its wheel. May be able to win this. I don't know. Nope. Okay. Maybe it's time moved on. This is meowmurai. You've been watching ExoCross running on PC. Yeah, fun little game. And thankfully, the game's still supported, so they're still getting updates. Maybe not big content updates, but it's patched on a regular basis. So definitely check it out if you're down with slippery racing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.